who is the fastest NFL player of all time? We're going to look at some of the fastest players in NFL history, compare their numbers, and rank the top contenders from both the past and the present. And trust me, this race isn't as simple as looking at 40-yard dash times. Let's start by understanding what speed means in the NFL. It's not just about running a 40-yard dash at the combine. Game speed, endurance, and the ability to maintain acceleration all play a part. But who mastered it all? Let's find out. Speed competitions in the NFL go back decades. For years, the Pro Bowl featured the fastest man competition, where players raced head-to-head to see who was the fastest in the league. It was one of the most exciting events of the Pro Bowl, pitting offensive players like wide receivers and running backs against defensive backs who were equally known for their speed. Legends like Darryl Green and Deion Sanders dominated during their time. Fans loved it because it was a pure test of one thing: speed. So why did the NFL stop this event after 2007? The league never gave a clear explanation, but it's likely tied to injury concerns. No one wants to see their star player blow a hamstring right before the playoffs. But the demand for speed didn't disappear with the end of this event. Today, we rely on other metrics like game speeds recorded by the NFL's next-gen stats, 40-yard dash times from the combine, and even high school track records to determine who the fastest player is. Now, there are rumors about bringing back a new version of the fastest man competition. Even without it, we have plenty of data from the past and present to help us find out who really holds the crown. Now let's move to the present. Entering the 2024 season, we have some serious contenders for the title of the fastest player in the NFL. First, let's start with the man most people would put at the top of their list. Tyreek Hill, wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins, has been terrorizing defenses with his speed ever since he entered the league. Nicknamed the Cheetah for obvious reasons, Hill is more than just fast in a straight line. He's got agility, insane acceleration, and an ability to reach top speed faster than anyone else on the field. Back in 2016, Hill recorded a blazing 23.24 miles per hour on a kick return, still the fastest speed recorded by next-gen stats. Hill can hit 21 or 22 miles per hour multiple times in a game, leaving defenders in the dust. He even had 3 of the top 10 fastest recorded speeds in 2023. And here's what's crazy. He only ran a 4.29 second 40-yard dash at the combine. That's fast, but it's not record-breaking. Next up, let's talk about Xavier Worthy, a rookie wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. If you hadn't heard about him much, you will soon. Worthy ran the fastest 40-yard dash in NFL Combine history with a jaw-dropping 4.29 seconds, beating the previous record of 4.22 seconds set by John Ross in 2017. But as we know, 40-yard dash times don't always translate to in-game performance. Worthy has the potential to be a game changer, especially with Patrick Mahomes throwing him the ball. If Worthy can carry that elite speed into game situations, he might challenge Hill for the title of fastest player. And then there's Miami Dolphins running back Devon Achane. The Dolphins are clearly obsessed with speed, and it shows with Achane's inclusion on the list. Despite dealing with injuries during his rookie season, Achane posted 2 of the top 6 speeds in the NFL in 2023. Achane ran a 4.32 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine. But here's where it gets interesting. His real speed comes from his track background. In college, Achane ran a 10.14 second 100-meter dash and a 20.2 second 200-meter dash, making him one of the few players who brings Olympic-level speed to the football field. Speaking of Dolphins, we can't forget about Raheem Mostert. Back in 2020, Mostert was the fastest player in the NFL, clocking in at 23.09 miles per hour on a 75-yard touchdown run. He also hit 22.73 miles per hour the week before. Mostert's speed comes from his ability to maintain top speed over long distances. In 2023, at 31 years old, he still reached 21.62 miles per hour on a 43-yard rushing touchdown. Not bad for a guy who spent most of his career bouncing around teams before finding a home with the Dolphins. Finally, let's talk about DK Metcalf. If there's one player who defies the laws of physics, it's Metcalf. At 230 pounds, Metcalf is built like a linebacker but runs like a wide receiver. He ran a 4.33 second 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine, which is absurd given his size. In 2021, Metcalf famously chased down Arizona Cardinals safety Buda Baker after an interception, reaching 22.64 miles per hour. That play might be one of the best examples of in-game speed we've ever seen. In 2023, Metcalf hit 22.23 miles per hour on a 73-yard touchdown catch. He's not just fast for his size, he's fast, period. So those are our top modern contenders. But how do they stack up against the legends of the past? The first name that comes up whenever you talk about speed in the NFL is Darrell Green. Green, a Hall of Fame cornerback, was known for his speed throughout his 20-year career with the Washington Redskins. Green famously ran a 4.43 second 40-yard dash when he was 50 years old. But in his prime, the stories get even crazier. It's rumored that Green ran a 4.09 second 40-yard dash at the Redskins training camp in 1986, though this time is unofficial. Even if that's a stretch, Green was undoubtedly one of the fastest players the league has ever seen. He routinely chased down ball carriers from behind and was known as the ageless wonder because he kept his speed well into his 40s. Then there's Bo Jackson. If we're talking about pure athleticism, Bo might be the greatest athlete of all time. He played both professional football and baseball, dominating in both sports. But his speed, that's the legendary stuff. Bo Jackson is reported to have run a 4.12 second 40-yard dash at his college pro day. There's even a myth that Jackson was late to track practice and ran straight out the door after his sprint, never slowing down. Whether that's true or not, Jackson's speed on the field was undeniable. He was able to pull away from defenders with ease, and his combination of size and speed was something the NFL had never seen before. His most famous run came in 1987 when he broke off a 91-yard touchdown run on Monday Night Football, reaching insane top speed while leaving defenders gasping for air. But before Bo and Darrell, there was Bob Hayes, Bullet. Bob Hayes wasn't just an NFL star, he was also an Olympic gold medalist. Hayes won the gold medal in the 100-meter dash at the 1964 Olympics with a time of 10.06 seconds. What makes this even more impressive is that Hayes ran that time on a cinder track, a surface that's much slower than the synthetic tracks we see today. If Hayes had run on a modern track, who knows how fast he could have gone. In the NFL, Hayes brought the world-class speed to the Dallas Cowboys, where he became a dominant wide receiver. He was so fast that defenses had to change the way they played, leading to the development of zone coverage to try and contain him. Hayes may not have had the same 40-yard dash times as today's players, but his speed on the track and the field was undeniable. So how do we compare legends like Green, Jackson, and Hayes to today's speedsters? It's not easy, but we can use a few key metrics to see who really reigns supreme. When we talk about speed in the NFL, the 40-yard dash is usually the first thing that comes to mind. It's the gold standard for measuring speed at the NFL Combine, and it gives teams a sense of how fast a player can get going. But is the 40-yard dash the best measure of real football speed? Not necessarily. The 40-yard dash is great for showing straight line speed over a short distance, but football is played on a 100-yard field. That's where game speed comes in. Game speed takes into account how fast a player can accelerate, how long they can maintain their speed, and how they perform when they're making cuts or breaking tackles. Some players who don't have the fastest 40 times can still dominate because they reach higher top speeds in-game. Take Leonard Fournette, for example. Fournette isn't known for his 40-yard dash time, but in 2017, he reached a top speed of 22.05 miles per hour on a 90-yard touchdown run. That was the fastest speed recorded by any ball carrier that season. Fournette is a perfect example of a player who builds up his speed over distance. He might not hit his top speed in the first 40 yards, but once he gets going, few players can catch him. Another example is Raheem Mostert. As I mentioned earlier, Mostert hit 23.09 miles per hour in 2020, the fastest speed recorded in that season. Mostert's ability to maintain his top speed over longer distances makes him incredibly dangerous in the open field. He might not have the fastest 40-yard dash time, but when it comes to game speed, he's near the top. Now comes the moment of truth. Who is really the fastest NFL player of all time? Is it a modern-day speedster like Tyreek Hill or a legendary track star like Bob Hayes? To answer that, we need to break it down by different categories of speed. If we're talking about 40-yard dash times, Xavier Worthy holds the crown with his record-breaking 4.21 seconds. But we have to remember, 40-yard dash times don't tell the whole story. When it comes to game speed, Tyreek Hill has been the most consistent performer, hitting top speeds of 21 to 23 miles per hour multiple times throughout his career. His ability to accelerate quickly and maintain that speed in game is unmatched. On the other hand, if we're talking about track speed, Bob Hayes is the clear winner. His 10.06 second 100 meter dash on a cinder track is one of the most impressive athletic feats of all time. And let's not forget Bo Jackson, whose mythical 4.12 second 40-yard dash still sparks debates today. So, who takes the crown? It's a tough call, but if we're looking at a combination of track speed, 40-yard dash times, and game speed, Bob Hayes might just edge out the competition. His Olympic-level speed, combined with his dominance on the football field, makes him the fastest NFL player of all time, at least for now. Speed has always been one of the most exciting aspects of football, and the debate over who's the fastest will likely never end. Whether it's Tyreek Hill, Bob Hayes, or someone else entirely, the NFL has been blessed with some truly remarkable athletes over the years. The game keeps getting faster, and who knows, maybe the next NFL speedster is already out there, waiting to break all the records.